guys! Thanks very much for joining me. I hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a while since I made my last Clash of Clans video, but I'm still here, creeping around, somewhere. Yes, I quit Clash for a while. I was sick of getting matched against modding clans and closet modders. I'm an ex-modder. Not ex-mod, but ex-modder, if that makes sense. So it made it even more frustrating coming up against these taggers. In Dragonflower, we faced so many clans that were running burners more often than not. There were 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. Anyway, back to the hot topic of the day. Bans. Yes, Supercell finally lost his patience and did a mass ban on players. If you were a fresh modder thinking you get a 2-week ban, you were wrong. Supercell went directly to permanent bans. This was reinforced by Anushka, that little cat, stating there would be no return. Now, I like to think about these things a lot, and I was pondering the corporate decision on mass banning most of the day yesterday. Sad. Jake posted something rather cryptic when he quit. In his little video, he talked about a specific person that was pro-banning and drove the case to get rid of modders permanently. It sounded like she faced a ton of resistance to the point where it looked like she wasn't getting anywhere. The previous 2-week ban saw Supercell's revenue fall for sure. This brings me nicely to my current point though. The decision to permanent ban has not been taken lightly. I'm guessing that the Clash of Clans team is a small one, with a rather small management structure. They sit around a few tables with some Macs, some PCs, and the office is rather dry and geeky. It's a strange place to be. The team will all sit really closely, and key decisions will be made by very few people. Now, the management thinks shareholders and profits, while the developers think game. This is where the conflict lies. I would suggest that anything above developer was not sure about mass banning. Ultimately, they would have sat around a table, pulled up a load of statistics, and thrashed out the pros and cons of each scenario. I would guess that the banning decision was not made in one sitting. It would have very much been a game of politics and finances. The top trophy pushers used mod to see live traps when they attacked. Most used mass bowler and miner so they could time the warden's ability for a triple rather easily. Being tripled all the time with a perfectly timed warden ability drove me to nosedive to Crystal League before I quit last month. Yes, that's right, I quit last month, but I'll come back to that in a moment. Back to the modding thing. So after numerous meetings, they decided to drop the hammer and mass ban ex-modders. I-modders have not been hit in this wave yet. Natus was shut down by Supercell previously and his PayPal account was frozen at their request. Natus made his millions, so I'm sure he wasn't overly bothered. Complications lie in litigation, as the likelihood is that iMod actually increased Supercell's revenue. Controversial? Yes, but it's entirely possible. People would spend to play. In the early days of iMod, there wasn't the ability to alter troops within mod, so new armies were gemmed to test things out. It's not hard to see that there was a beneficial revenue stream for Supercell, for Natus, and also a new player experience. The concept of mod is now seen in the friendly challenge, so the idea was something that the playing community wanted. What amazed me was the resistance put up by some of the fair play community surrounding friendly challenge when it was first announced. I would now assume that everyone uses it and enjoys it. Am I right? Well, in the next few days, the iMod hammer will fall. Natus made some alterations before he stopped developing it. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure that it can be detected. iMod is on the course for its own self-destruction. Anyhow, once your license expires, there's no way to renew it. It will die naturally, purely by the action and pressure Supercell put on Natus. We know there's a major update coming in the next couple of weeks. Earlier I mentioned that I quit. Well, I might just come back. The September update is now, in my opinion, the most critical update Supercell will do. I said in his latest video that major clans had suffered from the bans. This will have a knock-on effect to revenue. Remember, at the core of the game, there's a company, a profit-driven company. I am thinking about coming out of my quitting stage now to return to the game in a strange way. The bans have got me interested again. One thing I would recommend is that Supercell doesn't just hit the red button from time to time. In many ways, I feel this is a self-generated problem. If Supercell addressed the modding issue from day one with an automated banning system that was always on, they wouldn't have had this problem in the first place, but therein lies a conundrum. Would the game really be what it is without there having been modding? Anyway guys, I'll be watching this unfold like everyone else. I'm interested to know what you think. Comment below if you have a thought on what I've said. I'm always interested to know your opinion. On a side note, I had a chat with D3 who had previously hacked Supercell's servers. He told me that the door is still wide open. In the unlikely event that someone from Supercell actually listens to this, you might want to try and shut that. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye.